Alright, welcome back to another American-Statesman webcast. Rick, we've reached the fourth round of the playoffs, the quarterfinal round. Still a little weird not having Lake Travis here, but we still have 5 very good teams playing. Let's talk about those 5 games. Let's start off Georgetown, Nederland. Georgetown's still undefeated, the 3rd longest winning streak in the state. Are they going to extend that streak?
They're going to, I'm picking Georgetown.
All right.
13-0 for the first time ever, 13 victories. I'm going to give them the scouting report on Nederland. James White, remember that name, James White, 2,200 yards this year, rushing, 30 touchdowns. He's the man that they have to stop. They stop him, they win the game. But it's a special Georgetown team. The quarterback is great, the defense is great, they're all seniors. I think they might win state.
Yeah, and Nederland's ranked 5th in the state, but Georgetown has one thing that Nederland doesn't, and that's a win over Angleton. As you saw, Georgetown beat them by 10 last week. Angleton beat Nederland earlier this season. Also, Nederland struggled with a Connolly team that Georgetown handily beat earlier. So I think Georgetown wins this one and goes to the state semifinals, where they may play Rouse if Rouse can beat Corpus Christi Flower Bluff. How do you see that game going?
Well, I think Rouse would be considered an upset, but I don't really consider it an upset. I think that they're just better than most Corpus Christi schools. It was just a South Texas San Antonio thing. Rouse, Justin Pelt, what an amazing story he's been, and I see them winning again.
Yeah, I think they can win this game. Pelt, Ilya Curry, Logan Kinder, all can run the ball. They seem to have a very steady rushing attack. Don't throw the ball very much, but Pelt did have 2 touchdown passes last week against Gregory Portland. Flower Bluff is coming off that huge win over Leander. Colton Mims is their quarterback. He's thrown for 30 touchdowns. He can run the ball, as Leander found out too. So if Rouse can contain him, which they have, they've forced 17 turnovers over the past 4 games. So if that defense keeps playing well, I think Rouse and Georgetown will be playing next week. Let's stay in 4A. We got Cedar Park. We got San Antonio Brennan. Brennan's undefeated. Cedar Park has won 11 straight. Who's going to win this one?
Well, Cedar Park's going to win. Brennan, this is only their 3rd year of varsity. It's pretty amazing. I think Cedar Park has had a much tougher schedule to get to this point, and they lost those 2 games early. They've won 11 in a row. I see Cedar Park.
I'll go with Cedar Park too. This is their 3rd straight year in the quarterfinals. They don't have Lake Travis to worry about this year. I say they get to the semifinals. Nate Grimm went down with an injury in last game, but I think he'll be back, and I think if he's in there, he's a very underrated quarterback, and the defense allowing about 12 points a game. I think they get it done. Let's go to the other side of the bracket. Cedar Park wins. They may play Manor. We still have Manor still alive. I don't think a lot of people expected them to still be playing, but they've got an undefeated Fort Bend Marshall team this week. Who's going to win that one?
Well, I think Fort Bend Marshall's going to win, even though I'm pulling for those guys. Come on, Coach Jackson, get that thing done. We want to see you again next week. Fort Bend Marshall has scored 50 points, 9 games. Manor has scored 50 points 1 time. They've still got a good offense. I just don't think they have the, I hate to say it, the horses to keep up. But that's my pun for the day.
I'm going to go opposite. You say the 50 points, but they are coming off a game where they only scored 31. Had to have a touchdown with 16 seconds left to beat Elgin, a team Manor knows a lot about. Manor's defense has been impressive. Last week they had a Army All-American wide receiver to contend with. He scored 2 touchdowns in the 1st quarter. They shut him down after that. They've been able to adjust. They've been playing well. And Tyrone Owens in the playoffs averaging over 9 yards a carry. So if they keep feeding him the ball, stop Fort Bend Marshall, which has a very good sophomore quarterback, but he is still a sophomore. I think that they can win this game, squeeze by, and we'll have a fun Cedar Park Manor game next week.
I hope you're right. I really do.
All right, we've talked about 4A games. Let's talk about the last one. We're going to 5A. Westlake. They know a couple things about playoff wins. They're still around. They got Plano West. Both teams are 9-4. Who's winning this one?
I'm going to take Westlake. Their defense is just uncanny. 2 touchdowns by the defense right off the bat last week. They beat a very good Longview team, and they just that magic seems to be back with them. And Jordan Siebert's growing as a quarterback, but they're going to need to score a lot more this week. The offense and not just the defense.
Yeah, their defense scored 3 times last week. Their defense has allowed 3 offensive touchdowns the last 4 weeks, so they are playing great. They're going to be tested. Plano West is averaging about 40 points a game, so that offense is going to need to get them at least 14, 21 points. But I think if they get that, I think they win, and we'll be talking about, I guess, all 5 of these teams next week if my predictions come correct.
Darren Allman is a defensive guy, so he's a great player at Odessa Permian, so maybe it's rubbing off a little bit.
All right, those are predictions. As always, check out the newspaper on Saturday and Sunday to see how we did, and we'll see you next week.